So, Thursday, great day. I wanted to talk about an article I was reading this morning on learning. How many of you think that learning is a learned behavior? Or are you a natural born leader? Or a natural born learner? We're all leaders in our own ways. You know, many people, they tend to approach the topic of learning without even any focus, right? I mean, they don't think about how to develop an area of mastery, right? It's Malcolm I can't even say his name today. Malcolm Gladwell. You know, he talks about in his one of his books about the 10,000 hours of mastery for a topic or something that you have a skill at, whatever it is. That's when you become a master, is when you've gone through 10,000 hours of that. You know, if you want to be a piano player, concert pianist or whatever, if you want to be great linebacker, whatever it is, it's that practice makes perfect, right? That's what people say. But does practice mean repeating the same skill over and over again? Does it require feedback? Should practice really be hard, or should it be fun? There's so much research out there that, make it clear that learners are made. They're not born, right? We can all develop, expertise faster and more effectively when we learn how to get better at being better, right? Better at learning. So there's been examples of studies that show that learning strategies can be more important than raw smarts. Think about that. People who have these extreme level of IQs can be, when it comes to learning something new, they struggle, right? Because they haven't mastered that level of learning, how to learn. So it's really important that you don't focus just on something like IQ. You focus on your emotional intelligence. You focus on how to build learning skills. Because if you know how to learn, you can do pretty much anything. The first thing that you're going to want to do is something that, I had thought about this morning and was journaling, was you got to organize your goals. Right? Effective learning, right? I talk about effective team building, of just being effective in life. Effective learning, it really boils down to like project management, right? You set achievable goals, you have a timeline, you have milestones, you have critical path achievements that you have to hit. A targeted approach to learning, it helps us really, I guess you could say, it helps us cope with nagging feelings of the associated gaining experience, right? Am I good enough? Am I going to fail? What if there's something wrong? What if there's something that I'd rather be doing, right? So we have to organize those goals in a really just focused manner, right? In that project management sense, and if we're committed to developing a plan and then following through on that plan, studies show that people with clear goals are going to always outperform people with vague goals. Like, hey, I want to pay off debt. Great, win this year. Okay, how much and how are you going to do that, right? There's all these different ways that you have to approach a goal, baby steps, right? The second thing you're going to want to really think about thinking. It's a broad thing, but if you're going to achieve a goal, can you explain it to a friend? What are my goals? Do I really get this idea? Do I need more background knowledge? Do I need more practice? Do I need more resources? Do I need a better community around me, right? It comes easy to people who are trained experts, right? There's that expert thing again. When a specialist works through an issue, they're going to think about how the problem is framed. Years ago, I went through Kepner-Trigo problem-solving training. And at first I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. But as I look back and as I was able to solve problems for organizations, it taught me how to break down a problem, figure out if it actually was a problem, when that problem started, and it's just a thinking process of it all. If you haven't gone through that training, I think they're still around, but it's a really hefty training. So, when it comes to learning, that biggest issue that people do is they don't think about how they're thinking. And then they get frustrated and anxious and stressed and burnout and all those different things. excuse me. The third thing that you really want to do here is reflect on your learning, right? It really turns out that we need to let go of our learning in order to understand our learning. Just like anything, if you want to change something, you kind of have to let go of what you're currently doing and reevaluate what you're doing and change it, tweak it, right? If you're coaching a client and it's not really working out too well and they're not getting the results, well, take a step back, reflect on it. If you're going through a project and it's not hitting the milestones that you need, take a step back, reflect on it, right? So in short, learning, it benefits from reflection, right? It requires that moment of calm, something we all want, but we don't always do, right? We say, oh yeah, we need to relax. Oh, we need to take a break. And then we never do. Or if we do, it's like, okay, 5 minutes. Oh, okay, I relaxed, I'm done. No, we need to, or, you're talking in the shower to yourself and that's it, whatever. But it usually takes an extreme level of cognitive quiet, a moment of silent introspection, for us to engage in any kind of focused deliberation, right? So, right, sleep, think about that. That's a fascinating example. It's right, we can tidy up our knowledge of thinking while we're napping or in deep sleep. I had seen, it was a study too, I'm really into studies lately, that a good evening of shut-eye can actually reduce practice time. You practice makes perfect by 50%. That's right. You think that's crazy, but sleep is so imperative to our overall mental and physical health, people. So that idea of cognitive quiet, it explains why it's so difficult to gain new skills, because we're stressed, we're angry, we're lonely, we're busy, we have such strong feelings that overwhelm ourselves that we can't deliberate and reflect. So you need to really, really just sit down and evaluate some of this stuff, by deliberately organizing your learning goals, thinking about your thinking, and reflecting on your learning at opportune times. You can totally become a better learner. You can do it. You just have to be deliberate about it. Hope that helps today.